The Italian Wine Podcast is the community-driven platform for Italian wine geeks around the world. Support the show by donating at ItalianWinepodcast.com. Donate €5 or more and we'll send you a copy of our latest book, My Italian Grape Geek Journal, absolutely free. To get your free copy of My Italian Grape Geek Journal, click Support Us at ItalianWinepodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. Grazie mille.
Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Listen in as we journey to some of Italy's most beautiful places in the company of those who know them best, the families who grow grapes and make fabulous wines. Through their stories, we will learn not just about their wines, but also about their ways of life, the local and regional foods and specialities that pair naturally with their wines, and the most beautiful places to visit. We have a wonderful journey of discovery ahead of us, and I hope you will join me. Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Today we travel to the wine town of Frascati in the Alban Hills to the southeast of Rome to meet my guest, Jo Wennerholm. Jo is one of my favorite Italian food writers through her home cooking blog, which is called Frascati Cooking, That's Amore. Thanks so much for being my guest today, Jo. We've corresponded now for years, but this is the first time I've heard your voice, so it's a real pleasure to meet you here. How are you?
Likewise, Mark. Likewise. How are you? I hear you've come back from Belfast, so you must be a little bit tired.
Oh, no, I've been going around with my new book, so it's been a very good time. It's a real pleasure to meet you because your writing has been something I've followed for years, and we've corresponded over the years as well, but we've never actually met.
No, we haven't.
This is the closest we've come, but we must get together.
Yes, please. You must come down to Rome. You seem to favour the north of Italy.
The north and the south, but not so much the middle.
No.
I'm flying into Rome next week, but
really?
It's my Gastronomically Marche tour, so we're driving across to Ascoli Piceno.
Oh, well, that's where we're going after this. My husband's family comes from the Marche, and we're going to Macerata today. So,
how long will that take you from Rome?
Roughly
from
about
Frascati?
About 3 hours.
About 3 hours. Oh, okay, great.
Lovely.
Yeah, I don't know Macerata, but I've heard it's a very, very nice town as well.
Well, they say that the Marche are Italy's best kept secret. It seems to me that all of Italy is a best kept secret.
I think it's true about Le Marche. I think it is still very much undiscovered, certainly for international visitors.
Yeah, it is.
Now, Jo, let's talk about where you live. Let's talk about Frascati. I haven't been to Frascati in many, many years, but I recall it very fondly, and I'm sure it's changed since I've been there. But describe Frascati. It's a town, of course, that was famous in the Roman era. Did Cicero have a villa in Frascati? It was really historically somewhere that people of Rome would come to for the cleaner air and for its beautiful position. Tell us about where you live.
Oh, that's a heavy question you've asked me because I could drone on for hours and hours, but I'll try and make it brief. Frascati didn't really come into existence until about 1191 because prior to that there was a hilltop town called Tusculum, which actually predates Rome. Long story short, when the last king of Rome tried to suppress what were, I suppose, Republican political leanings, he had his daughter married off to the tyrant of Tusculum together with a Latin League, and they fought against Rome and lost the battle. This was the famous Battle of Lake Regillo in 496 BC. And as a side note, there's a white wine here called 496, made by the De Sanctis winery. So the Romans, instead of razing it to the ground, decided it was a nice spot and started building their villas there. So as you said, Cicero, it wouldn't have been Frascati, it would have been more what is now known as Grottaferrata.
Okay.
And there's a famous abbey there which dates back to 1004, the Abbey of San Nilo, and they reckon that's where Cicero's villa might have stood. But also in what was then the Frascati territory, but you'd have called it Tusculum, not Frascati. I don't know if you've heard of Lucullo.
Oh, of course. Yes.
He was famous for putting on these lavish dinner parties, which would have cost in terms of today's, hundreds of €1,000, dollars, whatever, right?
Yes.
And and this is where he had his, villa. A villa was somewhere where you retreated to from the heat in the summer, from malaria. malaria being malaria, bad air. And
Ah,
they thought it was the bad air that caused the disease. Of course, it was the mozzies, but they didn't know it back then. So, as I like to say, sorry if I'm droning on a bit here, is that if you think of Rome as New York City, think of the hills around Rome here and Frascati now as the Hamptons.
okay. Oh, yes.
I think that's the closest we can come to making it easy for people to understand.
And Joe, Frascati is actually your family home. Your family are from Frascati. You have such a perfect English accent and speak English much better than I do coming from America. But tell me a little bit about your background and how Frascati is your family home.
Well, Mark, I believe you and I have something in common in that we're probably what would now be known as third culture kids,
Hmm.
right? So you were born in Mexico, your mother from Hawaii,
Yes, that's
your
right.
dad from, and via Paris. Well, I was born in Stockholm. My mother is from Frascati, so half of me is a total local, what do
Okay.
you call it? Total local yokel. Yeah, okay, kidding. But I was born in Stockholm. My father was
Okay.
Swedish. Unfortunately, he died when I was a baby, and my mother didn't know what to do. But eventually, she decided to come back to Frascati, and to the apartment that I'm living in right now. So I've been in the same flat since January 1958.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
And
That's
my
wonderful.
grandmother, yeah, Giuseppina, I was named after her, Josephine, but she was Giuseppina. She lived with us until she died. And then when I was about 5, my mother married a second time to a Scotsman, you see, who lived in West Pakistan, which is where I learned to speak English. Okay. From Karachi, we moved to Tehran. And then from Tehran, we moved to what was then East Pakistan, Dhaka, Bangladesh. And then I was sent to boarding school at the age of 13 to England. So I did all my schooling in England. But Frascati was always home. This is where we came to for vacations, for Christmas holidays, summer holidays, etc. And this is where I came to live and stay, at the age of 2021. I've been here ever since.
Okay, and I'm just wondering if that really interesting upbringing of traveling around India and Iran and Bangladesh, and if those flavors and curiosity for food perhaps came from that. It must have been a bit of a shock when you then went to an English boarding
Yeah.
school. I shouldn't
Which
think.
French philosopher said that the best English meal is breakfast, something like that. Well, first of all, Mark, to this day, institutional food is never very good, is it? Let's face it.
No, that's true, but Italian institutional food is still better than most, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, it was. Breakfast was great. Breakfast was great. Lunch was always a cooked meal, but never. I mean, what was good with the
Hmm.
puddings? With their funny names: spotted dick, dead man's leg, custard,
Yes,
blancmange,
yes.
this sort of thing. And tea was a biscuit, and supper was a bit of a sad affair. Thursday was good. We had fish and chips. I was always hungry at boarding school, but I think it's also the years when when you're growing up, the hormones kick in, and you're always hungry. And all I know is that when I went home, I'd lose weight, even though I probably ate more.
Uh-huh.
My mother's cooking, of course.
And your mother was an inspiration for you as a cook.
Absolutely. And my grandmother, yes, both. Absolutely.
Well, tell us about that then. When you came back to live in Frascati, did you just really embrace being in Italy and enjoying the Italian way of life? And of course, a large part of that is Italian food and wine.
Oh, totally for me. Yes, of course. But as I said just a few minutes ago, the fact I don't know how you feel about living in England with your American background. In some respects, I'm foreigner wherever I go. So in Frascati, I'm la straniera. In England, I was the Italian. So I actually find myself more at ease with people who've traveled a lot. I did work for the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN in Rome for many years. And of course, everyone was a foreigner there. And I ended up hating the work there. I just did not enjoy it. And the only way to get out of it was to go and do a university course. And I started off in the evening and then I resigned from FAO, something my mother has not forgiven me to this day, by the way, because there's Italian fixation on holding a steady job. And so food didn't really become something I was particularly interested in, other than, of course, eating good food, until my late 20s, I'd say, not before, when I started cooking at home.
When did you begin to actually start writing about food, communicating to others, and sharing the joy? Because your writing is exuberant.
Thank you, thank you. I try to inject a bit of cheer in it because I think, life can be very hard for people all over the world, never mind what we're going through at the moment in those sensitive areas of the world. So yeah, a bit of cheer I think is needed. I started in around 2010 because I had a daughter who just finished her 3-year university course in London and a son who then followed. And she'd call me and say, Mummy, how would you make fettina panata? Mummy, how do you do this? And I thought, let's write this. And then it went from there, basically. And I enjoyed it, yes.
Okay, that's great. So it came out of a need for your children to be able to continue to enjoy the foods that they'd grown up eating.
I suppose so, yes. And telling a bit of a yarn while we're about it,
Yeah. You say on your blog that your motto is simple food, any food, so long as it is good and made with love.
Yes.
Angry food upsets the workings of digestion.
Yes. Apparently that's an Ayurvedic thing. I learned that from a friend of mine, sadly no longer with us, Clarissa Mitchell, who lived in India and knew all about the Ayurveda. And she told me, angry food is no good. No good at all. So if I am angry and start cooking, I have a glass of water, walk around a little bit and go back and breathe and then start cooking.
Yeah, I think that's true. I'm sure that's true. I'm just going to read some of your recent posts just so people get a flavor of what you write about. Holding forth on risotto making, 10 tips.
Yeah.
Spuds are us too, the battered potato from Liguria called frandura.
Yeah.
The nettle that got on my metal.
And all these nettles on the balcony, right. Pesky things, terrible. So I thought I'd turn them into something comestible.
Yes. And tell us about that frandura, the Ligurian potato dish.
Well, I saw this. I was falling asleep in front of the telly one evening, not so long ago, and I saw an Italian TV program about food, and it just looked so simple to make and so easy, and it looked delicious. So I tried my hand at it, and it turned out to be really good.
It's actually a battered potato?
Yeah, I mean, the potatoes are sliced, and then you add a batter to it with a bit of cheese and bung it in the oven, and that's it. Oh. I really am about simple food. I mean, I cook a lot, and if you come to dinner here, there'll be more than just 2 or 3 dishes. People say I cook too much, but I notice they all eat it up. So there's leftovers, they take it home. But my dishes are simple. I can't do fancy and complicated and sophisticated. I am fussy about the ingredients, though.
Yes,
that
yes.
I am.
Now, your cooking always seems to be rooted in place and tradition, but you always put your own twist on things.
Yes. Oh, I didn't realize. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I like the way that you don't say that this is what it is and, it's set in stone, and your cooking isn't set in stone. You're very much encouraging people to make use with what they have and to enjoy cooking rather than slavishly following something.
Absolutely, Mark. You've hit the nail on the head. That's the whole point. I wish people would cook more, but if they started with simple recipes, they'd enjoy cooking. I think the trouble is that maybe people start with sort of complicated things and can't be bothered to repeat the process.
Yes, that's true, and need to go out and search for special ingredients. And what would you say are the most important elements of Italian home cooking for you?
Maybe it's a bit banal, but I'd say regionality, seasonality, and the quality of the ingredients.
Yeah, actually, I would say you've really encapsulated that very succinctly.
Do you want fresh food? This big thing about chilometro zero in Italy, which is, I think, would translate as farm to table, something like that.
Yeah, sure.
And, well, I can get a fabulous ricotta made less than 2 kilometers away from here because the Sardinian sheep owner, he makes this wonderful ricotta.
Sure.
And that's 2 kilometers away from here. I can get nice olive oil from the Lazio area, of course, or one of them is called Quattro. Am I allowed to give names or not?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. One of them is Quattro Ciocchi. He's won all kinds of medals, gold medals for his quality of olive oil. That's about 40 minutes drive away from Frascati. And of course, there's Tuscan oils, Sicilian oils. I mean, olive oil, there's beautiful olive oils all over it. Per carità, of course, but I try and make it local.
It's nice to have your own olive oil that you feel is made by a friend and it tastes better and has a certain savor to it.
Absolutely. Fresh food as much as possible, of course.
And seasonality, you mentioned. I know in summer, for example, I think you go to the coast and write about cooking on the beach virtually.
Sabaudia, oh, my favorite.
I've enjoyed reading your posts, like a breath of sea wind.
Oh, thank you.
I'm very near the coast too. So,
well, Devon's, I've never been. I'd love to go then. You're talking about fruit de mer the other day, and I was salivating. I love.
Yeah, no, we get wonderful, wonderful local fish and shellfish here.
I bet. I can imagine. Do you like to cook, Mark?
Yes, I do. Yeah, my wife and I both
Good,
cook,
good.
and our children cook as well, and their partners cook. So we all live close together. So
Oh, lucky
we have
you.
great family feasts quite regularly,
Oh,
and we now have a
our
little.
son, our son moved to Milan 8 years ago, and of course I cried for days on end. In that respect, I'm a true Italian mama. Oh my God, he lives so far away, Milan.
Yeah, well, I suppose it is. It is far away. It's another world, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Italian Wine Podcast. If you think you love wine as much as we do, then give us a like and a follow anywhere you get your pods.
Well, tell me what you're cooking now. We're talking about seasonality. What are you cooking now?
Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I think we had steak and salad last night. Sorry. No big. Well, of course, vegetables. I like to describe myself as a vegetarian who eats a lot of meat. Ha ha. Meaning I can skip meat at a meal, but I can't skip my veggies ever. So we have what they call contorni in Italian. So we always have at least 2, if not 3 contorni. In that respect, I'm a bit of a vegetarian. So right now we're coming to the end of the artichoke season. There's fresh peas, fresh broad beans, fava beans, all kinds of salad. There's broccolo romanesco, spuds. People look down on potatoes. Why do they do that? They're so nice.
Actually, I think you're right. So many times we visit Italy, we walk through markets, we see these wonderful arrays of vegetables, but it's hard for us now. If you're staying in an Airbnb, perhaps you can cook, but we don't have a chance to enjoy them, and often you don't get them in restaurants. You need to be in homes to enjoy them.
No, I've noticed. You know why? Because people are lazy in restaurants. And also, I must say, the prices are shot up in a ridiculous manner because of COVID, I suppose, and other things going on in the world. But I think restaurants, they don't like to make, vegetables because it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
It
well,
is.
I'd like you to explain to me what you do with all those beautiful artichokes. I see. I know Rome is famous for its artichoke season, and there are different varieties of
Yeah.
artichokes. So, tell me your favorite ways of
Well,
preparing artichokes.
one of them is alla romana, of course, which is stewed with some garlic and mint and olive oil, of course. The other one is not easy to make at home. I don't make it often, I'll be honest with you, which is alla giudia, which is fried. So that the artichoke is fried twice. First at a low temperature to get it cooking, and then just before serving at a very high temperature in the oil to crispen it up. And that's delicious.
To crisp it up. I've eaten that. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, it's lovely, absolutely gorgeous. And then I like it raw with shavings of Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano, and olive oil, and a bit of lemon juice. It's nice.
They have to be nice and tender, though, don't they, for that?
And yes, and they have to be sliced very thinly.
Right.
Otherwise, yeah.
With a mandolin, maybe.
Actually, I just use a knife, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
I fry them as well in batter and without.
Oh,
Deep fried. I like fried foods, and I've looked into this, and I'm not saying people should have fried foods every day, but once a week, once every 10 days, yes, apparently it's very good for the health of our liver because it stimulates, is it the gallbladder, something like that? And, if you don't use it, you lose it sort of thing. So have fried foods at least every 10 days.
well, that's
There
a
you
good
go.
advice. I think that's very good advice. Now, can you talk us through the classic Roman pasta dishes that every visitor to Rome or the Colli Albani should sample? I'm talking about the big 3 that, is it 3?
Four.
4.
For a cacio e pepe, which is just pecorino cheese and water, and the pasta, of course. Then if you add guanciale to it, pork jowl, that becomes la gricia and pepper.
La gricia.
Then if you add tomato to that, it becomes a matriciana. Okay, that's the sort of development of that. And then you have the carbonara, which is made with eggs as well as the guanciale. And carbonara has been causing all kinds of heated debate. Should we call it that? Because now there's something called carbo crema, meaning that until about 20 years ago, carbonara was made any old way, but now you have to make it creamy. Same thing goes for cacio e pepe. My grandmother would just, grate the part of the pecorino and add the pasta with the pepper, and Bob's your uncle, right? Now you have to make the cremina and this and that. So
What, adding the pasta water to the grated cheese and then blending it in?
yeah, which can curdle. So actually, I do give cooking classes. I hate giving cooking classes with ketchup papers involved because it can curdle.
Right. Yeah.
I'm getting better at it, but I shouldn't be confessing this, but then I like to be honest. What can I say?
Let's talk about your cooking classes because I wanted to mention those.
Thank you.
It's a really good opportunity for visitors to really experience real home cooking.
Exactly.
Tell us about what you do.
Well, if we have time, I buy some of the food the day before because shopping takes hours or can take hours. So I think this through, write everything down, buy all the ingredients that we don't have to buy on the actual day, the day before, and actually prepare some things. I mean, like, peeling garlic because this takes time. Then on the day, I like to go with the guests, as I like to call them, to the markets, the shops, so they can see what we're buying and how fresh it is. And then we come home when we get cooking. First on the thing is to get your hands washed and then a glass of wine, if you like a glass of wine. And then we cook together and laugh together and it goes on forever.
Well, that sounds like a very enjoyable way to spend a day. How do they find you? How do they come across you?
Oh gosh, that's Next question. I'm not very good at marketing. It's hearsay. Friend of a friend. Through the blog, I'm hoping. And I also have worked with other friends in Rome. An American friend who no longer lives there, Diane Epstein. She's moved to California. Another friend who runs a travel business called Your Own Italy. And I have some friends who own a casale not far from here. They rent it out to people visiting, and I cater for them or give cooking classes there.
So anybody who's listening to this, and we do have listeners from all around the world, if they find your blog Frascati Cooking, that's Amore.
Oh, thank you.
Then they would be able to find you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I like to know what they can't eat because some people, for whatever reason, can't eat pork. Lots of vegans or lactose intolerant. So you have to be wary of what I can offer them.
Sure.
But there's usually plenty.
Yes, I'm sure. Now, Frascati, the name Frascati, of course, is known all around the world for the wine that comes from your area.
That's right.
How important is wine in life in Frascati? And tell me a little bit about your favorite wines. Joe, I'm just going to go back to my memory of Frascati more than 40 years ago. And I can recall when there used to be these very dark dens where you could go in and the wine was poured either out of demijohns or maybe directly from the barrel, quite golden in color, fermented on the skins. And you'd just have a carafe of that with porchetta that you'd buy from a roadside stand and eat with your hands. Things have changed considerably since then, but I would hope that there's something of that remaining because it was such a genuine wine and food experience.
Very sadly, no. Actually, there's only one left. His name is Remigio. And guess what? Just over a week ago, Stanley Tucci was filming there.
Is that right? Yeah.
Okay. In Frascati. They were known as fraschette, and these became very popular with the Romans who'd come here because there's a train from Frascati to Rome. It only takes half an hour. It was actually the second train to be built in Italy. The first one was in Naples in 1856, but it didn't really get going until 1886, which meant a lot of Romans would come here for the day, day trippers.
Sure.
And as you said, either bring their own food or buy some porchetta and go to these taverns, these fraschette, and buy the local plonk. Well, no, they've all died out now, but times have changed. It's all enotecas now. It's all wine in stem glasses, which is a good thing. Let's face it, I don't think that wine was particularly good, but the atmosphere would have been wonderful, and that's what's lost.
Yes, it was wonderful. And actually, I remember fondly the wine. It was before technology and, there was fermentation on the skins. And it's a style of wine that's actually coming back now with orange wines.
Yeah. I read somewhere that you favored Gravner. That was one of the wines you liked.
Oh, I'm a very big fan of Gravner's wines, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I actually met him once because we have a friend here called Paolo Gherardi. I don't know how he started this, but he started sort of, let's call it a wine club, if that's what you want to call it. He has some kind of karma that manages to attract wine producers to come to Frascati and have dinner with us. I don't know.
Wow.
And Gravner was one such guest.
Oh, my goodness.
He was a very pleasant man. and he'd just gone through some hardship. I believe he lost a son.
Oh
But he was
dear.
most attentive and very nice, and we were able to taste his wonderful wines. Yeah, but back to Frascati. What's happened is it used to be it lost its prestige, didn't it? In the 70s, it became a supermarket wine, I suppose. And Romans are only now starting to understand that Frascati wine has picked up. It's got good. And otherwise they won't serve it. They think, oh, Frascati, bad wine. And that's sad, because the wine you spoke of just now, which was served in the taverns, you see, legally, theoretically, you weren't allowed to call it a Frascati wine, because Frascati is a DOC.
Of
It's a
course.
bottled
Of
wine.
course.
So that didn't
Of
do
course.
Frascati wine any favours. The fact that they were serving house wine, quaffable, cheerful wine, call it jug wine, let's call it that. Whereas nice Frascati wine is actually very nice. And it's going up in the rankings, I'm glad to say.
Oh, there's some wonderful Frascati wines being produced now. I have one in my book that is very, very good. So, no, I think Frascati, you're absolutely right. In the 70s, when wine was industrialized, Frascati, Verdicchio in the amphora bottle, Chianti in the straw-covered fiasco,
That's right. Yeah.
Soave. These were the wines that introduced the world to Italian wines in places all around the world. And, they brought joy and happiness, even if the wine was only mediocre. But these same places now are making really, really great wines again, and Frascati included.
Yeah. Casale Marchese is one of them. I like. We're actually friends with them. De Sanctis, their wine is organic. I've seen their De Sanctis wines in Roman restaurants. Good. A relative newcomer to the block is one Gabriele Magno, and I like his Frascati style, but he makes a really good red wine, Cesanese. Really good. Very nice.
Yes,
That's becoming more and more popular, Cesanese too.
Cesanese, I think it's one of the great grapes of certainly of Lazio, but I think of Italy. It's undervalued and unknown.
Yeah, people are starting to talk about it now. But if ever you come around here, I'll take you to Gabriele Magno for
that would be lovely.
For the Cesanese. It's very good. And again, it's about 4 kilometers away from where I live.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
I'm surrounded by vineyards.
Yes,
They're small, mind you. They're small. They're not large. Not very large. Mm-hmm. They're not big holdings. No.
Well, a final question, Joe, for visitors to Rome and to the Colli Albani who love food and wine, what's your advice to them for how to get the most out of their visit?
Well, if they can, I'd say spend a couple of nights here. If you can't, rent a car. And if you can't rent a car, get on the train from Rome to Frascati and just walk around. I mean, there's a lot of people watching. We have fantastic ice cream here in Frascati, some very good pizza, some nice porchetta. This is not a riccia where porchetta is made, but we have nice porchetta here too. And yeah, there's lots of places to eat and drink. And lots of people ambling around. Very nice. There's always a nice atmosphere in Frascati. I'll give you that. Always.
Yeah, and it's easy to get to. Most importantly,
very easy. Yeah.
Which train station is that from?
Termini, and Frascati is the last stop, and it takes 30 minutes.
Wow.
That's it. Yep.
Do you go into Rome often then?
I go very often, sometimes, and not at all for months on end. Well, not months on end.
Right.
It depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have friends in Rome, so I go down to Rome to see friends or go to museums or whatever. So yeah.
Sure.
I mean, we think of ourselves as Romans. I mean, the Romans wouldn't think of us that way. We're sort of the rednecks to them, We're the Burini. We're the Burini. They think we are provincial, and I think it's nice to be
have somewhere to. I mean, for centuries, people would go to Frascati and to the Colli Albani, the Alban Hills, to escape Rome.
That's right. And the air is still better here, even though it's been built up a lot over the years. I mean,
yes, I'm sure.
If you come here, you won't recognize it. The traffic is pretty bad here, would you believe? But still, the air is better.
Actually, I do remember even a very long time ago when I was last in Frascati, it was hectic. It was crazy. And,
there's a buzz to it, which is nice,
Yeah, I like that buzz. I like that busyness and that noise.
I worked with a winery until COVID a few years ago. I did a little tour of Frascati before taking to the winery, and this would be in the morning. And I'd say, take a look at the people walking in the passeggiata. And they were all, I call this geriatric time of day. It was all the older people, right? It's the husbands, talking about football or complaining about the government. There's always something to complain about. And in the evenings, of course, then you get the younger people going for their aperitivi. So there's always people wandering around. That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, that is nice. Well, Joe, you've made me want to wander around, and I hope I can meet you in
Well,
Frascati sometime.
please come. Please, please, please. We'd be glad to have you as our guest.
I would love to. I would love to. But I'm very glad to have made proper contact with you in this way and to learn more about what you do in your life in Frascati, which I think our listeners will enjoy reading about in Frascati Cooking, that's Amore. So thank you so much for being my guest this morning. It's been a real pleasure.
For me too, Mark. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I hope
all the best.
I hope we meet soon. All the best. Grazie, buona giornata.
Anche a te, Mark. Grazie.
Grazie.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe right here or wherever you get your pods. Likewise, you can visit us at ItalianWinePodcast.com. Until next time, chin chin.